Okay, so now that we know that the alternator is for sure bad on this vehicle, we're going to go ahead and replace it. So if your battery light is on, more than likely your alternator is the problem. You have a problem in the charging system. So check the charging system when a battery light comes on. I will be replacing the alternator on this 2003 Dodge Caravan. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Hopefully this helps you.
First, to get easy access to the serpentine belt, I'm going to remove the dust cover on the bottom side of the vehicle. This one I just pulled it off. There's 3 retaining clips that holds in. They're plastic retainers. There will be a link in the description for a removal tool to make this much easier than pulling on like I did. Set that off to the side. To take the tension off of the serpentine belt, you need to move the tensioner right here. What I did is used an adapter from a 1/2 inch square or socket to a 17 millimeter bolt head. There'll also be a link in the description to buy it. They come in a kit for a serpentine belt removal tool. And I just didn't use the actual arm because that didn't fit. You got very, very little room right there. Now we're going to remove the belt. At this time, I would recommend that you check your pulleys, make sure they spin freely, they're not lopsided. Spin the tensioner. Again, you're here, replace these if needed. Again, links in the description to buy these parts. Up top, this is the bottom side of the air filter housing. It's got 1 retaining screw that's on the radiator support. Just pull that on out. Now we're going to take the intake off. Right here's your air temperature sensor. Now before starting any job that considers the starting or charging system of the battery, or the vehicle I should say, make sure you disconnect the negative or positive terminal. I usually disconnect the negative and just leave it off to the side so it doesn't touch anything when we do the work. With the battery disconnected, first we are going to disconnect the positive battery wire, or the wire that goes from the alternator to the battery to keep the battery charged. On this one I believe it was a 13 millimeter, it might vary on yours. Going to remove the retaining bolt. This job is real fast and easy. There's not too many. I don't think there was anything hard about it. Just realistically 2 hours done. There we go. Set that off to the side. Just pull your wire off. Since the battery's disconnected, you don't have to worry about it touching anything. Out of the whole job, I'd say this is the hardest bolt to remove. This is one of 3 15 millimeter bolts that actually retain the alternator to the engine itself. This one's right next to the exhaust manifold and the engine oil dipstick tube. Pain to get to. As soon as you get it loose, going to use your fingers to pull it out. There we go. Set that bolt off to the side. Looking from where the air box or air cleaner box would be at the alternator, you're going to remove these 2 15 millimeter bolts that hold the alternator to the engine. After you get these 2 done and out, then this thing will be real easy to remove. A nice little extension, 3-inch extension would be perfect to gain access to this bottom bolt that's between the chassis or frame and the engine. Or even a deep socket would probably be a little bit better for you in that situation. Pack them out with your fingers. Just remove the 2 bolts. Top one's out. Set it off to the side. Follow with the other bolt they removed off the back side of the alternator. So they removed the bottom bolt bracket bolt. Set that off to the side. Now, at the beginning of the video, we did not disconnect the electrical connection on the alternator. It has a lock on it that is pretty hard to get to unless it's in this position or upside down. You have to push the tab on the red lock to be able to disconnect the connection. It's kind of hard. I used a flathead and I pushed that red pin over. So I'm trying with my finger, that didn't work out. You gotta pull all the way out. Hard to see right here, but I'm using a flathead screwdriver to pop it out. And it comes right off. That's it. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this alternator out, get it tested, just to confirm. But I'm 99% sure that's what it's gonna be.
Alright, so now we have the alternator out. Make sure you check my other videos. I'm going to upload a video of installing the alternator, but obviously you took it out, so you should be able to put it in without following more directions. But if you run into a spot to where it's hard or you just can't figure out how to get it on, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check out my other videos, and it will be in that library. I'll see you on the next, hopefully helpful video.